The college basketball experience summer coaches tour for the Jacksonville Dolphins head coach Jordan Mincy edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up today using that promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 bonus in cash. Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's college football and NFL picks and projections are now live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. And welcome everybody into the college basketball experience. Summer Coaches Tour, another stop on it, and we go back to the ASUN. We will talk to the head coach of the Jacksonville Dolphins, Coach Jordan Mincy. Enjoyed my conversation with Coach Mincy earlier today. Great guy, great roots. Played at Kent State in the MAC, multiple stops. Kent State, obviously, his alma mater. Louisiana Tech with Mike White, Florida. He was a part of that Elite Eight run and multiple NCAA tournaments. And then he was a part of the coaching staff that had Mike White, Dusty May, Darius Nichols, all head coaches. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But first, I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Basketball Experience as we inch closer towards November 4th. Can't get here soon enough. We're under 4 months away. I'm going to keep saying that until we're 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, and then we'll be tipping off that ball. Can't wait. Can't get here soon enough. Real quick, we got to pay the bills before we get to Coach Mincy because at the College Basketball Experience, we're brought to you by, Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code above me, TCESGPN, to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 bonus in cash. Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Game Time. Use our promo code CFBX to we'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download that Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Back here on the College Basketball Experience. Tease it out enough. Let's get over to it. The head coach of the Jacksonville Dolphins in the ASUN, Coach Jordan Mincy. And we continue our summer coaches tour on the College Basketball Experience with the head coach of the Jacksonville Dolphins, Coach Jordan Mincy. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you taking the time. So fill everybody in. It's early August, so season's right around the corner, kind of in the dog days of the offseason. What you guys been up to since the season ended?
You know what? Last year we felt like we had a lot of guys get beat up early. And so the one thing that we try to do as a staff, that was a little bit different than our previous 2 summers, was trying to make sure that we really developed offensively and talked about skill development. We felt like we had done a lot of 5-on-5, a lot of bone-on-bone, as we like to say around here. And we just thought that, having that amount of time and guys continuously being so competitive, at times it can beat up their overall health and be very harsh on their bodies. And so we just really focused on their mental and physical health this summer.
That's great to hear. Yeah, these off seasons get longer and longer, especially with the portal and NIL that we'll get into. But you personally, I want to rewind. You grew up in the Memphis, Tennessee area. You were a hell of a basketball player. You played at Kent State in the MAC. Just talk about your playing career and when did you know you wanted to get into coaching?
So you know what? Growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, obviously I was the youngest in the family, but I came from a basketball rich family. You know, brother played at UAB, sister at Ole Miss, cousin at Tennessee, and then my other cousin at Minnesota. And so, you know, basketball was always a part of my life at a very young age. And you know, being able to be blessed to have the opportunity to go to Kent State, a place where you know we won at such a high level, and be around you know other guys, teammates that are now coaches in the profession as well. You know, it's something that, you know, the head coach at the time, Jim Christian, and then also a guy who plays a major part in that is Rob Senderoff, the head coach there now. You know, he kind of, you know, has a coaching tree where when we get to our junior, senior year, he walk up to us and say, hey, look, you know, I'm from New York. What do you want to do? Do you want to be on Wall Street or do you want to coach? And I remember he asked me, I was like, man, you're hilarious. He goes, no, I'm serious. And so I told him I wanted to coach. And so, you know, he put me in the right direction. He led me to Darren Horn, which is one of his best friends in the profession. I was able to get in as a GA at the University of South Carolina and, you know, just kind of work my way up from there. And so it's been a great ride, a lot of different experiences, but man, it's definitely been fun.
Yeah, and I was reviewing your track record. You go to South Carolina, then you go back to your alma mater, Kent State, then to Charleston, Toledo. So multiple stops in the MAC. Then you land with Coach White, Mike White, down at Louisiana Tech before you guys go to Florida. What are some of the things you took from the different bosses that you had over the years, some of the mentors that you speak of?
So it's funny you say that, Ryan. You know, having the opportunity to talk to our staff and just talk about their development, right? And so I told them being able to not only coach with me, but coach with other people in the profession. Like I'm big on our guys having growth and seeking out other opportunities within the profession. And so I told them, you know, you get a chance to work for a guy like Todd Kowalczyk, who is one of the best offensive minds I've ever worked around, and you've seen he's been successful. Being around, you know, Mike White for numerous years and seeing how he collects talent of talent of not only, you know, basketball players, but of staff members. Like he's unbelievable with assembling staffs and making sure that he puts the right people around young men to be able to coach them at an extremely high level. And so I was blessed just to, you know, be around a lot of different basketball minds, but also lucky enough to also coach at my alma mater and see, you know, hey, it's a lot of things you need to work on, but at the same time, these different stops have shown me there are different ways to win.
Yeah, multiple ways to skin a cat, skin a pig, whatever the phrase is that you choose to use. You mentioned all the different stops, the different mentors. In 2021, you get the call. You take over the Jacksonville program down there in Florida. What was the biggest adjustment moving over that 18 inches that everybody likes to talk about on a day-to-day basis?
So, you know, everybody talks about, you know, you come a head coach, man, you get to make your own schedule. Things are going to be great. And I know that for a fact, my wife thought that was the case. And to be honest, it's the total opposite. You have so many different things that are outside of X and O's that you take it for granted. And what you don't understand is, you know what, especially now, like you're raising money, you're trying to get NIL. You're also trying to help the university grow. And so you have different meetings that don't necessarily pertain to athletics. You're just the head men's basketball coach and they want you to be there. They want you to show face. And so you're constantly having meetings. You're constantly trying to build a brand. And the one thing I remember from day one, I just wanted people to know that Jacksonville University was more than just, you know, basketball. I wanted them to know about our university as a whole. And I felt like, you know, anytime I got an opportunity to be in front of that camera lens, that's what I always preached. Hey, Jacksonville is a great place to go to school, great place to live, unbelievable opportunity to go to a small, intimate campus, but at the same time, you have a unique experience because we're in such a major city.
That all great points. I asked Darius Nichols, who you were co-workers with and good friends with at Florida, Louisiana Tech. You guys became head coaches at the same time. So I asked him this question a couple weeks ago. You guys both took over jobs in 2021, which I'm sure seems like 40 years ago compared to 4 years ago. What's been the biggest transition, A, getting your first head job, but also B, doing it in this era where the portal's changed, the NIL's changed, everything has changed over the last 3+ years?
Well, the one thing that, you know, Darius and I often speak on is, you know, our time at the University of Florida kind of helped and prepared us for the NIL in this stage of life. And when I say that, things were already changing. You were already going and have different competition, whether it be, as people say, it's legal NIL. We were still competing in the league. Everybody knows the SEC now.
Yeah.
So we were competing in the league with guys, and we were doing it the right way. But at the same time, we had to use different. Hey, look, this is what a Florida brand can do for you. This is how it can help you the rest of your life. And so we had to get creative when it came to recruiting. And then at the same time, it allowed for us to understand, at that level, oftentimes you have kids who say, hey, coach, I'm going to the league, whether they're ready or not. And so as an assistant coach, you can't go to your head coach and say, hey, Coach White, listen, Trey Man's going to put his name in after his sophomore year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go get you another guy that can replace him. He's going to be like, okay, if you can't do that, then I need to go get somebody to fill your spot. And so, the thing that, that I've taken from that is I treat our guys the same way. If I have a player that's really, really good, and they have an opportunity, I just treat it like if they're going to the NBA. Hey, look, you know what? You're going to elevate. You're going to move up. And it's my job. It's our staff's job to go find another player and elevate them to that exact same level.
That's a heck of a way to look at it. And I know a lot of people are bitter when their guys move on, but hey, it's the nature of the business. That's what coaches do as well. So that staff, you, Darius, Dusty May, who's turned out to be a heck of a basketball coach too, all working for Mike White. Talk about when you hired your first staff and developing your staff. What were some of the things that you valued, you wanted in picking your first coaching staff?
So, I talk about development, but I also talk about having guys to be able to move on. And so, some of the key players on my first staff, all those individuals have moved on, got better jobs. Mm-hmm. And so you talk about a guy like Scott Cherry, unbelievable basketball mind, had won at an extremely high level at High Point. And, he came out to help me my first 2 seasons. And then he had the opportunity to move on. As you see, he helped Central Michigan. They played extremely well in the MAC this year. I believe they finished top 4, if I'm not mistaken. Vince Martin, a basketball mind. He went to East Tennessee State. He was over there defense at the time after being a year with me. And now he's landed back at Lipscomb in our league, who, finished relatively, I think, top 2, top 3 last year. And then obviously Trevor DeLoach, the last assistant who just left, he went to UTSA with his former boss and was able to move, to the American. And so just being able to have people around me, the same tools that Coach White taught us, great people first, mentors, people who love basketball, but most importantly, individuals who, have the same alignment as you and the same core values.
Okay. I like that. I like hearing that. And let me ask you, what would be in going into year 4, what would be the biggest lessons learned just from running your own program, in your opinion? I know that's kind of a broad question.
Oh, no. It's great. So I'll tell you this. I'll just go down and use it as a timeline. So, first season, unbelievably successful, right? 21 wins, most wins since 1986, the year I was born. Second year, a whole bunch of expectations, right? Team preseason number 2, and we end up finishing 9th, we end up finishing tied for 9th, but overall 11th, and don't get in the conference tournament. And so a lot of that had to do with injuries, and then even with that team, I had 2 guys that transferred up. Both my centers, one went to UCF, other one went to Oklahoma State. And so, you return that third season. Again, in both my second and third season, we were really good in the non-conference, had major wins, winning record. As soon as we get the league play, we have these numerous injuries, whether it's 2 shoulders, ACL tear, certain things that occurred throughout the course of the season. And what it allowed for me to really see in the first 2 seasons that I carried over to our season last season was that no matter what happens, you just got to stay in the race. You got to continue to push no matter what injuries you have. Anybody that followed us last season, they'll tell you, we had our head coach meetings here this past summer, and they said, hey, Mince, we know if you had your entire roster, you would have finished top 5 in the league. But majority of the year, people who know my second and third leading scorer didn't play, 9 to 10 of my conference games. And so I got those guys back right before the conference tournament, and we lost in the semifinals on a last minute shot to Stetson, who ended up going to the NCAA tournament. Yep. And so for me, it's just, every year there's valuable lessons, and you never know what's going to happen, whether it's injuries, whether it's certain individuals transfer or leave. But, you just got to make the best of it. You got to continue to pour into these young men and help them be the best men they could possibly be when they leave your university.
Yes, and you guys are in a great league too. We've had a couple guys on from the ASUN, all those Florida schools. What's it been like coaching in the ASUN over the last 3 years? Learning a new league, coming over from the MAC, then the SEC. The ASUN's night in, night out. It's a tough league, man.
Oh, listen, it's unbelievable. I tell people all the time, when you're in the ASUN, you're going against Jones over there at Stetson. Man, unbelievable offensive coach. He's gonna run numerous sets. Now you go play Lipscomb, man. You got Lenny Acuff over there with his offensive mind and his 2-guard front and the back screens, back doors and flares. And now you go play a team that's similar to you with Pujols at North Alabama. And you know it's a battle. You're gonna drag it out, and it's like who's the heavyweight champion after this game? But you talk about the different coaching styles, but then you also talk about the young men, the talent in this league. And you take a guy like Chaz Lanier, right? Just transferred to Tennessee, a guy who was there at North Florida for a long time. And, North Florida does a great job of development. And being able to see how a guy like Chaz Lanier grew within their system and to see, what he was able to do at such an extraordinary level, he's going to have an unbelievable season. He's going to help Tennessee win a lot of basketball games this upcoming season.
Yeah, we had Coach Driscoll on. He's Mr. Energy. He's great. And so is Donnie Jones is great. And Coach Pujols. So I call us a ASUN podcast because we're gonna have everybody on by the time we tip the ball off November 4th. It's one of my favorite leagues. It's underrated, and you see why so many guys transfer to the high major from your guys' league is good coaches, good cultures, good programs. But Coach Mincy, I appreciate you taking the time. I want to leave it one last question. Head into year number 4. As you try to get over the hump, get to the dance. Unfortunately, you're in one of those leagues where you're judged on that 3-day tournament. What's a message for the Jacksonville Dolphins fans that will watch the show later?
The biggest thing that I'll say to our fan base is, first, thank you for the support that they give us. You talk about, those last 3 days, how valuable they are. Our league's a little unique than other leagues. You have to travel, to the highest seed at the time. And so I just remember, my fondest memory is that when we played at Stetson, we had 300 individuals, students from our university come down and support our guys. It almost felt like a home game. And so just to be able to say thank you first to the support they've shown us. And then also, we respect and we love our university, and our guys are going to play their heart out. We're going to play extremely hard, which, that's our brand. That's who we are. It's going to be a dogfight every time you play a guy with that Jacksonville across their chest. And so definitely thankful, but at the same time, hungry to get the season started. And just like I said, we love our fan base, man. They're awesome.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait for ASUN Hoops this fall. Guys, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, Coach Jordan Mincy of the Jacksonville Dolphins. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to stop by the college experience, and look forward to having you on again this season, Coach.
Ryan, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. See you, man.
I'll see you.
Coach Mincy of the Jacksonville Dolphins. Always good to catch up with him. I was at South Carolina when he was at Florida. We had some games that year, 2017. We actually played. Our teams played each other in the Elite Eight. Famous game where we were on the right side. Frank Martin got to the Final Four, but they had a hell of a team in Florida. And he was a big reason why. Him, Darius Nichols, and of course everybody knows Dusty May now with Mike White. They were able to keep that program going in the right direction and get to multiple NCAA tournaments. Now he's running his own program down there in the ASUN, 50-43 in the last 3 years. Had some injuries, but I mean, he's got a lot coming back, and he's talked about changing up some of the different ways they approach the offseason. I joked with him that we're an ASUN podcast. I think we've had 5 different coaches on from the ASUN. Coach Mincy, Coach Pujols, Coach Jones, Coach Driscoll, and we got plenty more lined up. We need to get the whole ASUN. That's my goal. The whole ASUN on before we tip it off November 4th. It's one of my favorite leagues in all of the country. Obviously, I worked at Austin Peay. I was not there when they were in the ASUN, but I do love the ASUN, and can't wait to see this league next year. And real quick, before we get out of here, we got to hit another ad because over here at the College Experience, we're brought to you by Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And you're going to want to get those models ready to rock and roll. NFL preseason starts today. College football week 0, 16 days away. Go over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM today. And we're also brought to you by Circa, Survivor, and Circa Millions. Don't have your trip booked already to Vegas? Well, what are you doing? Get over there. The contest weekend is August 22nd through 24th. Ryan and Sean will be out there. You can meet them, hang out, have a couple cold ones, and use our promo code SGP15 to save 15% off your hotel room for the sign-up weekend. Sign up in person, or if you can just want to participate in the proxy, you can do so from anywhere. We have a deal at Proxy. Go over to proxy.footballcontest.com to save you $50 with the promo code SGP. Alrighty, back on the College Basketball Experience. We continue our Summer Coaches Tour tomorrow. We got the head coach of the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, Coach Brooks Savage. You guys remember, they were right there. They got to the championship in the SoCon. We talked about year one, his path, and what's come there. A special thanks to Jordan Mincy once again. Great catching up, great guy. We'll be pulling for him this year, and it's going to be fun, man. ASUN's gonna be a great time, and we're going to continue to get these coaches on. Couldn't do it without the listener, so make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, cousins. Help us help you, and it goes a long way with the future of this program as we continue to grow on this show. Go check out the College Football Experience with Colby, NC Nick, Patty C. I'm actually on there later tonight. I think we're previewing FAU. Speaking of Dusty May, breaking down the FAU football team headed into this upcoming season. Go check out the FCS Experience. Jacksonville fans, let's go. It's here, baby. Breaking down all the FCS programs. Big 12 with me, Troy, and Rush. And the College Baseball Experience with Noah Beanick. Jacksonville's got a good program down there. We all come together as one on YouTube.com/the College Experience. That's all I got. Another edition of the Summer Coaches Tour. We'll be back tomorrow with Coach Savage. Thank you again to Coach Mincy. And Mac tonight signing off over here at the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we are out of here.